Hey Lincoln, how you doing? Hopefully you can hear me okay. Um, Still playing with my setup here a little bit. Hopefully I can get this cleared up here soon. Perfect. Yeah, this was almost too easy to get set up, to be honest with you. Um, cool. Yeah, I got this nice little webcam that, like I said, I think if you were here yesterday, got it in the mail yesterday, and it's an off-brand. I'd never heard of it, Unzano or something like that, but it was on sale at Amazon, and I needed one anyway, so I picked it up, and I'm pretty happy with the quality so far. So I got been playing with the scenes in OBS. So here's one I can get something under here. Can play with the scenes a little bit, different views. Actually, even got my phone hooked up. Let's see if this works too. Yep. So I got my phone hooked up as another camera. A little laggy, but I almost guarantee it's going to have issues focusing. There we go. But it'd be nice to have a better quality, or I should say better quality, but be able to see more of the coin than the microscope there. So this, that's upside down. I don't want that. This is a token I picked up a few years back. I'm not even sure. I think I got it off eBay. The Charity of Christ urgeth us. And let's see. It's a parking. It's a parking token in Little Rock at a hospital. Looks like a hospital in Little Rock, Arkansas. Well, that was kind of a neat little token. I'm always about like these neat little things. I actually got something new today. Actually, this was crazy. So, hopefully you can see this through there. This just came in. It's still in the 2x2 that it came in. It's a little crusty. Once I get it out of here, I think I'll get it out in a better 2x2. It won't be so bad. But this is a Civil War token from Navarre, Ohio, which is a small town near me. And got a really good deal on it, I think, because the pictures were pretty bad. And on eBay, and he took a deal. I offered him, this is something that usually goes quite a bit higher than what I care to pay for, but he took a deal, and I got a decent token, and this actually looks much better in hand than it did in the pictures. Actually, I wonder, is that a rotated die? Yes, it is. Interesting. I wonder if they were all like that. Anyways, I like these tokens. I have a nice little collection of some local towns store tokens, and a lot of them are from the early 1900s. But these Civil War tokens, if you can make out the, well, it was on this side. The date on here is 1863. And there's a whole history. Hey, David. Yeah, you didn't miss much. More me just playing with my camera, showing off a few tokens that I got laying around here on my desk. But this one is this is kind of a rare one, and I haven't looked up the rarity. I have a long time ago, but I haven't looked up the rarity on this one yet. Got a book that is probably the Bible of tokens. United States tokens. I don't even know how you pronounce that. Rulu or Russell. I'll just say Russell. And this is an older edition, but can't beat it. Boy, it has everything you want to know about tokens on here, from store tokens and everything else. Let me see if I can find this one in here. Because this will tell us what the rarity of that one is. Like I said, I was saying earlier, that's a bit of a rare one. I see it occasionally, and it usually goes for quite a bit of money. But this one, the pictures weren't that good, so the coin looked a lot worse than it really is. It looks much better in hand. And the crazy thing is I bought this on Saturday. Got this off eBay on Saturday. Saturday morning, I left for a baseball game, and while I was out there at the game, I got that it shipped, and I thought, well, I'll get it here this week sometime, and I was surprised it showed up today. So literally, it left Saturday at some point from South Carolina and got here to Ohio in a day, and there was a Sunday in between there. So let me see if I can find this token. This section of the book. Let me see if I can hold this up. If you can see this. Yeah, it's kind of a lot of glare on there, but this is a section of this book that lists the Civil War tokens, and it does it by state, and then inside each state it has the towns. There we go. Navarre, Holland, Freimeyer. It's a rarity 5. Now these values here and here, it's like any typical guidebook. Take them with a grain of salt, and the values aren't always very reliable, but it will at least give you a sense of what these are. And this is probably a $25 to $30 token according to the book value. I usually see them a lot higher on eBay. Some people are trying to get crazy money out of them. I've seen them listed for over $200, but I'm not sure I've ever seen one of those sell. And I paid far less than that for this one. It's got a rarity 5, and I'm trying to look how he ranks his rarities in here. Because sometimes the higher the number, like a rarity 5. Well, thanks for stopping by, Lincoln. Support the. I like the support, and like I said, I'm kind of new to this live streaming stuff, so gonna bear with me here. Yeah, I can't find it now. Sometimes the rarity value starts at like 1, where the R1 is like a unique value or a unique specimen, and it kind of goes up from there to more common specimens, and other times it's flipped the other way. So I'm not sure what this one is. This is an R5, so I'm not sure where that falls in the scale there. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, I've just been playing with seeing what OBS can do, playing with the different sources. Let me see how this shows up. It's probably not going to show up too good on here with the 2x2. I need to get it out of there. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But you know what? I'm going to take it out of here because I want to replace it anyways. I'm going to put it in a better holder than this one. This holder looks like it's been there for quite some time. I'm not too worried about it's not in the greatest shape anyway, so let me see how this looks here. Well, that looks a little better. There you can see the date on there. See if I can focus this a little better. There, that's, yeah, not really. Date on there, and there's a like a wood stove on there, and on the reverse it's just got the information on there. Hall and Freimeyer, dealers in stoves and tinware, Navarre, Ohio. So yeah, I'll get this in a fresh 2x2 and we'll go from there. Let's see what else I got here. As I mentioned before, I tend to deal with a lot of foreign stuff. I think I enjoy the foreign stuff a little bit better. So I always have some new stuff laying around. Should have done, let's see, what's this one here? Okay, this is kind of a funny one. Let me switch to this camera here. It's my phone. Picked this out at a coin show in a junk bin. And I think I might have paid $1 for it, and I have no idea. It looks like it might be an ancient, but I'm not really sure. But I just enjoyed what the guy had written on the 2x2. Big bird coin, really old, from another mother. I'm not sure where that came from, but you can see the bird there. Not really sure. I've yet to identify it, and the reverse is pretty cruddy. So it looks like this might have been dug. Out of somewhere, but I'm pretty sure that's an ancient. Just not sure what it is yet. That's pretty cool. For $1, I paid, like I said, I probably paid $1 for it. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm not real organized. Not the most organized person here. I enjoy it. I have fun. So how's everybody doing today? Anything new with anybody? I only got a couple things up on eBay right now. I sell a little bit on eBay, and I probably should put my link down below once I figure out how to do that. I have only 2 things up on eBay right now. Switch to the camera here. This Austrian 2 Groschen from 1967. Now, you see these things, these 2 Groschens from Austria on, if you get junk or bulk lots of foreign coins, you'll see these, you'll find these all over the place. The reverse of it. So these are normally pretty common. Now this is, but 1967, this was a proof-only release. They only minted 13,000 of these, and I minted 13,000 of these, and I picked this up for $1 or so. I might have got it off one of the online auctions, either Cheapskate or Lemonhead, I'm not sure. Or I could have picked it up at a coin show. I should keep better records of this. But anyways, picked this up. I know I only paid $1 or $2 for this, but I knew this one was pretty rare, and you don't see proofs of these too often. This is probably, I've seen these go for $50 or more online. This is kind of the key date of the series. So like I said, these are pretty common. Not these this year, but the series is pretty common. Like for example, here's a proof. I believe it's proof, but 1964, and this is maybe $1 or $2 coin, and it looks almost as good. Doesn't have quite the cameo effect, so I'm not sure. It might just be a really nice uncirculated copy of this, but that's another one that isn't worth much, but it's still a nice looking coin. But this is the key of the series. So this is up on eBay if anybody's interested, and I always take offers on anything that I have, whether I show it here or have it on eBay. And for anybody that knows anything about Canadian coins, this is the key date of the Canadian nickel series. And this is a great story too. It's 1925. I don't remember how many are minted. I think under 1 million. I don't know the exact mintage of these, but it is the key date of the series, and probably in this condition you're probably looking at a $50 to $70 coin, $75 coin or so. But this one I picked up in a lot on eBay. I do remember this. I was just kind of poking around eBay, and I was in the Canadian section looking at their lots that people had up, and this guy had a bunch of Canadian nickels, and I started poking. I always look for this design instead of I think you guys have all probably seen the ones with the beaver. There's just a common, the newer style with the beaver on it. It's 1939 there, but people have seen those. But I always look at these styles because they I don't know, I like this design. I always have. The picture wasn't that good. They were showing a whole lot in one picture, and I tried to zoom in as best I could, and I was almost positive this was a 25, which I knew was the key date. So I took a chance. Won the whole lot for about $5-6. I think there was probably about 30 or 40, probably about 30 coins in that lot. So break that down, whatever that was. Obviously under $1, maybe under a nickel, under 10 cents. I don't think I paid much more than $5-6 for this lot, but like I said, I bought it for this, and this is the key date. So again, I have this one up on eBay if anybody's interested, and like I said, I'll put it up there. I'll put my link down here. I think I put it in other videos, but I'll put this up here. I try to sell stuff on eBay, but I'm really bad about it because I'm kind of lazy. I get the urge to put stuff up and never get around to it. Here's a nice one. This is an ancient. This is from ancient Rome. This I got in a bulk lot of foreign coins. I bought about 5 pounds one time. I usually do like to do that over the winter time, just to give me something to do. And oops, see, I drop it. It ain't worth much. Don't worry about it. I have looked this up. I have an attribution for it. I don't know what it is at the moment. I have to go back to my notes. Got some help from the YouTuber community. I think Amy Uper, I think she might have helped me out with that, if I recall. She actually found out which one it was. That was a neat little find that was a neat little find for the in a bulk lot. so much. I don't know. Let me see. Let me pull this camera over here. Don't get everybody get dizzy. Look at the mess, but I've got buckets of. These are all forms that I got to go through. Here's my little library folders with coins in them. That's blurry. There we go. So there's my bucket of coins. That's just one of them. I got a lot of them here. Here's my bookshelf with some world coin books. These are all I got 2x2 holders in them. Down here, some more books, some boxes down there. That's a little bit of my library there. I know it's a little early. It's still it's not even 5 o'clock yet on the East Coast, and people just getting home from work. I actually worked from home today. I'm a software developer by trade, and the great thing about it is I have the option to work remote, and that's always a good thing. I truly enjoy that. But so I was home, so I basically quit at 4. Got started early. That's the other thing, is the flexibility that I have. It's always nice. But so anyways, got a little early start. I know I kind of wanted to come on and play with a little bit, see if anybody was out there before. I know Cheapskate comes on at 6 o'clock our time. So I got to find me a spot to. I don't want to compete too much with the big dogs in the YouTuber community, but not a lot of spots left anymore. So I got to figure something out. Kind of like to figure out what you know. If I just want to come on here and chat with people, if I want to have more of a theme, you know. If anybody has any suggestions, throw them out there to me. I do focus on, like I said, I focus on world coins, so if there's interest in that, I can have more discussions on world coins. Hey, look at that. Donald Trump just messaged me. Kind of doubt that too. But, so anyways, so yeah, if you have any interest in world coins, feel free. Hey, Cheapskate. Just talking about you. I was trying to come on a little bit before you came on with your auction. Just now trying out the live streaming stuff. This is only my second live stream. Last time was a lot of me fumbling around trying to get stuff to work. So I wanted to come on here and just miss me chatting about some foreign stuff. I think I even showed off one of the things I got from you at one point. But yeah, I wanted to come on before you got on, and before my wife got home. She's bringing supper home. So, cause it's, what time is it? 5 o'clock our time here. So, but yeah, I wanted to come on before everybody else got on and just chat around. I was just discussing, trying to figure out a good time to come online. Yeah, it's a learning process. You're right. I think it's more the technical side was easy. I got this all set up yesterday. I got a new webcam for my computer, got OBS set up, figured out, played around with YouTube a little bit, and it actually came pretty easy together, pretty easy. It's more of this kind of stream of consciousness talking that I'm not used to. I'm a software developer by trade, so I don't do a lot of talking at work, and so it's probably better to come on with a plan, a little bit of a plan, at least what to talk about. At least till I get some more audience in and get more people to follow and, you know, pick up on the conversation a little bit. But yeah, I was just showing off my desk a little bit. the mess that I have, my little bit of a library over here. Um, I have jars and dishes full of not dishes, but like butter dishes, I guess, full of foreign stuff that I need to go through yet and figure out what I want to do with it. Yeah. So I was thinking, and this is a little bit based off of the conversation you and I had, Cheapskate, but since I tend to focus on foreign coins, that might be something that might interest people out there, and you know, I might just throw myself out there, and if people want to talk about foreign coins, I'm happy to. I got plenty to show off, nothing real rare or anything, but I got plenty to show off, and we could talk about. Yeah, I'm looking forward. It looked like on the list that I seen that you had quite a few foreigns on there. I didn't get a chance to look real closely because I was supposed to have a baseball game tonight, and I thought I was going to miss your auction anyway, so I really didn't pay attention too much because I hate to see what's on there and get disappointed because I miss it. But game got canceled, so I might come on for a little bit, and we'll see if anything really truly catches my eye. But yeah, I always look forward to you get some interesting stuff sometimes. That's for sure. I really like that one I got off you last time. That Turks and Caicos coin. Let me show that off in case people didn't. I did a video on it. I really like this one. Let me switch to the other camera here and get my focus back. There we go. This is just a nice big old silver coin here. It's got a real neat design. It's got the so this has got one of the Georges. I think George V, isn't it? Maybe? I can't. Or no, that's George III. Anyways, it's got the Georges on here, and they've actually got one with Victoria in the different styles of the obverses there. And then on the reverse, here's of course our Queen Elizabeth here. Yeah, I like that Queen one. I like that one too. Someday I'll have to get the match to this one, but this is it's a real nice heavy coin too. I mean, it's bigger than a silver dollar. I think it's got, what you say, an ounce and a quarter of silver or so. So I was real happy with that. A low mintage too. I think you've got the mintage written on here. I still got your your text you wrote on there. 1973 of these minted. I like low mintage, and I like bigger silver coins. And when you pair those two together, you've got, to my mind anyways, the perfect rarity to have. It may not be worth thousands, but just ain't too many of these out here. So that's a nice one that I picked up there. I think I got some other ones from you recently too. I don't know where I put those at. Always looking for good deals. Always looking for good deals. Yeah, if you ever decide to sell that other version, Cheapskate, I might be interested if you catch me on the right time of the month, in between pays or around payday, and I can sneak one in. You know, I like those big coppers. Not sure. I'll have to look that one up. You guys all know about Numista? This is one of the greatest sites that this is where I find a lot of my information. But Numista, I'll post a link in there. That is a great coin if you want information, and it'll keep your inventory too if you want, which I do use that for, keep track of which ones I have and stuff like that. But I tell you what, I use it more for information than anything else. So I'm gonna look up. I want to see what that one looks like. Cheapskate. You know, I'm gonna stop. Your name's Lewis, right? I don't want to keep calling you Cheapskate if you don't mind me calling you Lewis. If it's not Lewis, I apologize. That's what I thought it was. Or if you prefer something else, just let me know. Let's see. So I'm looking on Numista. Not that you can see. I think there's. I don't have OBS set up yet to. I should do that. Holy cow, that is a big one. If it's the one I'm looking at. If it's the one I'm looking at, it's about 45 millimeters in diameter. That's a big coin. You figure a silver dollar is about 30 some. Yeah, for the pricing, I think NGC has probably more realistic pricing. I don't use Numista for the pricing too much. It's more for the information, because you can get mintages on there. You can get pictures. They talk about a lot of different varieties on there. I think a little bit better than NGC and some other places. And I do use it for my inventory as well, which is real handy because it'll tell me, do I have all the dates of that series, or do I have at least one in there? And it kind of, depending on if you're doing a date collection or more of a type collection, it works out great. That 3 pence, boy, that's a biggie. They don't have any mintages on them or anything in Numista, anyways. I'll have to go check that out on NGC. Yeah, I don't have a lot of coin shops near me. There's one or two within about a 20-mile radius of me. So I don't have a lot of coin shops to go to. So I do rely on eBay a lot. And I do price stuff on eBay. That's the other place I use to price things, because honestly, that's what stuff sells for. When it sells on eBay for 20 bucks, it's probably going to sell. Yeah, I don't see too many mintages for coins that old. Occasionally you'll get some countries were a little more diligent than others. But yeah, you get back into the early 1800s or before, and it's pretty rare. And I think even then there's estimates, maybe. They may be estimates, and then you got to imagine how many are actually surviving. I know Ken Peavy has a lot of calculations on the estimated survival of a lot of U.S. coins, but I got to imagine that some of these foreign coins are even harder to figure out. Trying to find. I had a big old copper somewhere that I just thought was the coolest thing. Actually, I got two. Let me see. This was another one. This is actually not as big as the one you have. Yeah, the auction records, whether through eBay or through some other third-party auction sites, it's a great way to figure out the market value of something. You know, there are times when, you know, I've actually had pretty good luck on eBay. To be honest, I know a lot of people mistrust it and don't like it too much, but you find yourself a good dealer, and I've found a few on there that have things priced fairly, send good coins, and you know, I've never had a problem with them. Matter of fact, I just got one today that I bought off eBay on Saturday, and it came from South Carolina to Ohio in 2 days, and one of those days was a Sunday, so I was pretty impressed with that. But oh, I keep switching cameras on us. Let's go back to this. So this I believe is a penny, a half penny from 1797 from Great Britain, and it's well worn. You can barely make out the figure, but this is a nice old thick piece of copper. Look how thick that thing is. And I picked this up. I think it was in a lot of a bulk lot of foreigns that I bought years ago. I bet you probably 10, 15 years ago. Ah, Rick Snow. He's by you, isn't he? That's why I started to say. I don't have a lot of coin shops near me, so I have to either rely on like eBay or, you know, like you or Lemon. I rely on those a lot. We do have a monthly. One thing is nice. We do have a monthly coin show at a place about 5-6 miles from me. It's a small show. There's maybe 20 dealers there, if that, and it's a lot of the same stuff every month, but you know, every so often I go in there and pick up a few new things, and you know, every so often there's somebody new that comes in, and you know, I can cherry pick his stuff. I shouldn't say cherry pick. I do cherry pick a lot. Yeah, I would love to have somebody like that, somebody like that around that I could hit up. There's just nothing real close to me. Nothing that I get to every week. And I'm busy anyways with work, and I've got kids that play sports, and I coach baseball, so this time of year is really tough for me to have any kind of free time. Yeah, so that I had I don't know where it went to. I had a ruler around here somewhere. Shoot, that coin, this big old piece of copper here. It's a half penny, like I said, from I believe 1797. That is about 32 or so millimeters. That one that you got, Lewis, is 45, so you can imagine how big that is. This one here, it's not really a coin. It's more of a token of some sort, and I looked it up at one point, but it's, you know, it's nothing real fancy. It's got a date of 1757 on there, but it was made, I think, in early 1900s. But this one here is, let's see how big this is. This is about 45 millimeters. So here's the size probably of your 3 pence that you got there. And just for comparison, let me see. Here's just throw this in there for comparison. There's a $50. So that's a pretty nice coin. Yeah, Rick Snow, man, I've read about his stuff in you know, since forever, it seems like. I don't want to date him or age him at all, but I feel like I've read about him since I was a kid, and you know, I'm in my late 40s now. Well, I would love to learn from somebody like that. Yeah, it'd be great to have all those guys in one place. There's some good dealers in that coin show that I go to. But mostly they're retired guys that are hobbyists that are just selling off their collection. Some of them come from around, you know, 50. They're probably all from within 50 to 100 miles of the show, where the show is. But I'm not going to travel to most of their shops. I just don't have quite the time to do that. But it sure would be fun. Yeah, that's a nice one there. I can't wait to see it tonight. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, I don't think I have, most of the 3-pences are either silver or copper nickel as I've gotten later, so I've not seen too many copper ones. I gotta figure out how to get OBS to so I can show a screen. That's what I need to do. Let's see, I wonder how I do that. Display capture. Excuse me while I figure out window capture. Let's try this. Wheel. I don't want to give away a bunch of let's see. Yeah, let's try. Let's see what happens here. And apologize if you guys, everything went black on you. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll play with it later. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Looking forward to that chat. I think it'd be good. I think, you know, there's a lot of good channels on YouTube, and I've learned a lot. But there's, I'll be honest, there's not a ton of foreign channels. At least I'm not aware of. If anybody has a good foreign channel, when I say foreign channel, ones that talk about foreign coins, I know that there's a lot of channels from overseas that I get, that I follow, that can you know, talk about their home country and some other foreign stuff. But you know, I don't know that I've seen one that really dives in. Yeah, I figured that. I know I played with that yesterday, and I probably should have remembered that, but yeah, I'll get it figured when I'm offline here, and hopefully for next time. And I apologize if you're hearing noise. That's my phone. I probably should turn the volume off. Let me turn that down a little bit. But I really want to. I think that chat, and I think in general a good channel that talks about world coins in detail, and good discussion on, you know, what to look for and the history. I think that's what drew me to world coins in the first place. Is just the wide variety of history and designs, and not that I don't enjoy U.S. coins. I have a large U.S. coin collection, but I don't know. I just really have been drawn to the world coins. Let's see if I got what else I got here on my desk. You know, I like to separate things into little jars. Like here's a jar that I put some. Gosh, I don't even know what's in there, other than it's blurry. I think there's some Great Britain florins and shillings in there, and nothing, no silver. But I always have these great ideas. I'm going to separate this stuff out, and then I'm going to organize it. And sometimes I get started on it, and I end up with a tin of 2x2s of stuff that's not. There's nothing real rare here. Here, let me get this here. Here's kind of my tin of 2x2s that I've kind of gone through. I've got cataloged. I've got in Numista, but I've yet to put in a book anywhere. Here's a neat one. You know what? Let me go through some of this stuff. There's some neat stuff in here. This here, and let me get situated better and focused. This is from Colombia, and this was in a leper colony. And back when they had leper colonies, they would make their own coinage. The lepers were people with leprosy were so ostracized and kept apart from everybody because it was a contagious thing, but it was also, there was a lot of psychological issues with people and how they treated people with leprosy. And I mean, thank goodness it's almost eradicated around the world compared to what it was even 100 years ago, or as you can see here, back in the 20s. Gosh, that is almost 100 years ago. Goodness gracious. Anyways, these are kind of neat because they had a purpose outside of a normal coinage. This was some of the coinage that only the people in the leper colony would use. This is how they would purchase things amongst themselves even. So that's kind of a neat coin I picked up, probably off eBay. It's not in the greatest shape. I mean, you can see it's got some crud up here and right up here. And I'm not very good at pointing, but right there, some crud. But kind of neat piece of history. And then there's only, again, this goes to the low mintage, 300,000. This is copper nickel, so it's not silver or anything. But there's not many of these made. 300,000. I tend to, when I look at coins that I'm interested in, usually I look for, like I said, silver. I look for, I like big silver. That's always appealing to me. That's exactly right, Lewis. I mean, it was they were subhuman. They were not treated very well. You can, if you read through the Bible, even you can see how the communities back then were so they were unclean, and they were, you avoided them. If a leper came into town, they were cursed and just wasn't a good situation, obviously, for them. And it's a horrible disease anyways to begin with, and I could not imagine being like that. So thank goodness it was pretty much eradicated. But back to what I was saying about the coins, I like silver. Big silver always appeals to me, and if it has a low mintage, and I typically, depends on the coin, but I will, anything under 1 million copies minted will usually catch my eye. I know 1 million copies is a lot, even at that, but in coinage, and nowadays especially, it's not very many. And when you're looking at something that's like this, back almost 100 years old, only 300,000 of them were made in the first place. How many still exist? I don't even know how to guess that, but half, 150,000, a third, 100,000, less than that. I don't know. It's hard to say. So it's always interesting to think about that kind of stuff, and it just takes that rarity even further. This one actually, Lewis, I might have got this one off of you. I don't remember. This one, Caraco. Oh gosh darn it! This thing does not want to focus right. Let's see. But this is silver. It's a 1/4 golden. 1944 is a 44D, and I think that might, I don't know, that might be Denver. I'm not 100% sure on this one. That might be a Denver. I mean, I know the U.S. minted a lot of coins. This is silver. What do we got here? 640, 3.58 grams. Not a ton of silver in there. It's still a precious metal. I tend to only write the mintages on my 2x2s when they're under 1 million. That way I'm too lazy to write them on everything. What else we got in here? Let's see. Let's pull something out here. Here's an interesting one. This is from China. This is from mainland China. I will label if they're from Taiwan, even though they call themselves China, I will label it Taiwan. This is 1996, which typically isn't a big deal. But this one has a mintage of, and it's upside down, 580,000. So it's a lower mintage, and you figure with a country of 1 billion people, well over 1 billion people, that's not much. Okay, cheapskate, I'll catch you. I'll probably catch you on your show. I do want to check out that 1813 3-pence, definitely. But hey, thanks for stopping by. And like I said, I'm gonna try to do this more often. Maybe I'll get a schedule, maybe I won't. But probably it's the only way you're gonna get people to come is just have a nice, steady schedule. You know, so we will see how it works out. Let's continue to go through this thing here. Let's see. Here's another silver. This is from Austria. Or actually, sorry, Hungary. I must have wrote Austria on there and realized I made a mistake. But this is silver, 1914, 1 krone. It's about the size of a quarter. It's 83.5% silver. It's pretty cool. Let's see. This one's not too rare or anything, but there's always been something about this design I liked. I don't know why, but from Lebanon, and 1952, 25. I always call this pastries. I know that's not how you pronounce it, but that's how I pronounce it in my own head. So, on Lebanon coins, you see this tree a lot. I'm not sure what kind of tree it is, but that's one of the distinctive caricatures on Lebanon coins is that tree. So if you see that, chances are it's from Lebanon. What else do I got here? Oh, this is, everybody knows I coach baseball. So when I see a baseball token, lighting's horrible here. That help? Not really. Anyways, when I pick up, when I see something with baseball or something like that, I'm gonna pick it up. So it's just a normal token. I think a parking token or something like that. No big deal. But cool. Oh boy. I have not gone through this very well. Oh, even got little bags of stuff here. What do we got here? I think these are got a baggie full of Canadian large cents. I think most of these are duplicates, but I'm not sure what I want to do with them yet. Here's a bag full of English pennies, large pennies. I know there's some older ones in there. I think this one right here comes to mind. This is probably 1860 something. 1863, if I'm reading my unfocused. 1862. 1 penny. That's this is really good condition there too. It's not that rare though for being that old. But that was a fuzz on there. that white spot that's now in the corner there. Yeah, these aren't that rare, that way I'm not too worried about touching them. I like to hold the coins. I like the, that's why I have trouble with slabs. I have a few slabs, but I have trouble with them just because there's just something about holding a coin in your hands. I'm not really gonna get down here. Oh yeah, some more English pennies I got there. A lot of good stuff here. This is kind of fun. You know, if I was better organized, I would know where everything is, but this is like a treasure hunt every time I dig into this stuff. I forget I have it, which makes it just as much fun to almost rediscover stuff. Here's a Canadian large cent. What year? 1903. Got quite a few of those. Quite a few of those. Excuse me. Let's see what I got in this box here. You know, these are just some proof sets. Not that you can see this stuff, but got a box. I like cigar boxes too. This one I've had, this cigar box here, I've had since I was probably about 10 or so. I'm not sure where I got it at. I think my uncle gave it to me. The one that got me into coin collecting. He probably sent me home with a box full of wheat pennies, because he did do that a lot. But I use cigar boxes a lot. Now I will pick these up for like Christmas tins. So if I can find these cigar boxes, or like that other Christmas tin that I had down there, those are great for storing coins in, and I get those a lot because they're cheap and usually free. People just want to get rid of them, but like I said, I got a lot to go through on my desk here. Here's a fun one. Let me get this back in focus again. Here's a partial roll of Mercury dimes, and that was a full roll at one point. I've been selling them off on eBay over the last couple months, and just pull a few out here. The reason I bought these, and I'll buy it just for junk silver, but the reason I bought these was more for resale, because I got them as junk silver. The thing is that these, I don't know if this is one of them, that is not, they were full of 1931 and a few 1930s, and if you know anything about Mercury dimes, the 31D in particular is a semi-key, and that is a 31 plain. But the 31D in roughly this condition here will sell for 10 bucks or so. And like I said, I got these for the price of basically spot, so they're under $2 a coin. So there's a lot of room for profit, and even the 31s and the 31Ss are worth more than what I paid for them. And actually, in this roll, I've already sold it, but there was a 1916. It wasn't the D. It was a 1916, and there's a, I think that's a D. Let me look at this a little closer. But there was a 1916 plain in there in really nice condition that I ended up selling for quite a bit of money. Almost paid for the roll itself. So yeah, this is a 1931D, the semi-key, one of the semi-keys of that series. This coin here is probably a $10 coin. I haven't really graded it or anything, but $7, $8, $9 coin, something like that. Depends on the buyer. But like I said, I probably got in that roll of 50. I had 20 or so of the 31Ds. I had another 10 31Ss, another 10 31s, and then the rest. So that's what, 20, 30, 40. The other 10 were split between 1930 and the 1916, and yeah, there's a few 1930. I don't remember if they had any mint marks in them, but they were mostly made up of 31Ds. So I was real happy with that. I don't think the guy knew what he had. Don't think he knew what he had, and he had to buy it now for the price of silver, and I don't think it was up more than about an hour, and I snagged it up. I didn't know when I bought it how many 31Ds were in there, so I took a chance. But I thought, worst case, I got a roll of silver for a good price, and best case, I got a roll of silver that I can sell for 5 to 6 times what I paid for it. That's fun. So there are deals out there on eBay if you know what to look for. I mentioned earlier in this stream the 1925 Canadian nickel, the key date. Like I said, I picked that up for maybe a quarter in a lot off eBay. It was just mixed in with a lot of other Canadian nickels, and I happened to see it. Nobody else did. It had actually been up there for a few days. And actually it was an auction. Didn't even have a buy it now on it. So I put a bid on it. I put a somewhat higher bid on it because I knew what I had there. But I think I got it for $5. And the 25 is probably at least a $50 coin in that condition. So there's deals out there. You just got to look for them. And don't be afraid of eBay. Find yourself a good dealer that sells on there. Build a relationship with them, and you'll be just fine. And just how we build relationships with Lewis, with Cheapskate, and Lemonhead, and Peavy, and a few of those other guys. I'm probably missing some people, but yeah, you build a relationship with those people, and they're going to do you all right. You know, first couple times I bought off of Lewis, I didn't know what I was going to get. You know, the pictures are what they are on camera. Sometimes it's hard to get a good picture on camera, especially through a microscope. It tends to I can't think of the word, but it tends to bring out flaws that you wouldn't see normally. You know, and that can be a problem because it will make a coin look worse than what it does. And so, you know, when I first bought off of him, I didn't know what I was going to get. But I tell you what, every time I bought off of him, I've been happy. I've gotten a better coin than what I was expecting for a decent price. And so thank you, Lewis, very much. I know I don't buy as much as some other people do, but I'm kind of picky sometimes too. But I've been happy with everything I've gotten from you. But build a relationship. So, you know, now we chat on here. He came on here and was chatting with me here tonight, and I'll be chatting with him later in his stream. And you know, hopefully he made mention in the comments, if you read the comments, we're trying to get something set up with me and him and Rivendell. You know, maybe have like a hangout stream so that we can talk about whatever, but you know, talk about foreign, talk about world coins, things that I think interest a lot of people, but not a lot of people don't know about them. And because it is a big thing to learn. You think learning U.S. coins are hard? Because there's so much, and there's so much information, so many different varieties and series and dates and everything else. Well, multiply that by 100, and a longer history than the U.S. has. You know, we're somewhat lucky. We're only going back 250 years, and whereas some of these countries have been around for thousands. And if you get involved in ancients, and I know, Lewis, you've got a collection of ancients that you have some up every so often, but it sounds like you might collect them as well. And it's something I've never gotten into is ancients, but I've got a few that I really kind of like, and that's another area. I just got to learn more. But you know, I think that's something I've always liked about coin collecting in some ways, more than the coin itself, is oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you had mentioned him, Ben. I don't know of him other than what you've talked about. But yeah, that's something that I'd be interested in, because I don't know much about ancients at all. But so yeah, that'd be another good one. I think these hangouts would be pretty cool. I'd really look forward to those. I think I'd probably learn as much, and hopefully I can share some. Um, Share some of my knowledge that I've gained over the years. But as I was saying, I actually I think about coin collecting, it's not about the coin. Well, it is about the coins, but I think it's the knowledge that I can get from them and the history. There is something really cool about pulling out. Let me pull these out if I have them here. There is something about pulling out a well-worn Morgan dollar. And I've got a pile of Morgans that are just junk silver, but let me look. I gotta switch back to my other camera. You know, I don't know if I've run across his channel. I'll have to look it up. I might. There's a lot of channels that I don't watch as much YouTube as I used to. I probably should get more involved in it. I'm watching other videos, but there's something to be said for picking up this dollar from 1887, New Orleans, well worn, and saying, "Where has that been? What was purchased with this dollar?" It's obviously staying in circulation. I mean, it's passed from hand to hand a number of times. So where's it been? Where, what was purchased from it? What was, that's the kind of stuff I enjoy. So that's a U.S. coin, and I can pull out one of those, like that copper that I had earlier. This is well worn. How many people's hands did that pass through? And the history, that's from 1797. You can't even see the date on there, but I know because it was only minted 1 year, this series. But yeah, Lewis, I'll have to check out that video if you make it, because I don't know if I'm familiar with them. But yeah, this 1797. That's what, 300? No, not quite 300 years ago. 200 and some years ago. That's how many hands did that pass through? And you can see it's well worn. You watch the movies from Great Britain back in those days, and the poor. This might have been a day's wages for somebody. This might have been a week's wages for somebody. Think of the Christmas story, the Scrooge. Did he throw something like this down? In the story, would this have been something that he would have thrown down to or paid? My mind's went blank. The guy that worked for him, whatever his name was, I forget. But anyways, Cratchit. Would he have paid Bob Cratchit with that? That's cool to think about, isn't it? So the history of these coins, that's what interests me a lot about coin collecting. So when I get a chance to read and to learn, that's why I have so many books over here, and I showed that off earlier, but I've got a lot of books here, I've got a lot of books on my other bookshelves over there. And there's just something about learning and reading and growing, and I do that with a lot of subjects, not just coins, but a lot of different subjects. Um, this one here, so let me show this one off. And this has, I don't know the history of this one, other than this was the only silver dollar that my dad had. And one moment. Somebody just walked in the door. Let me go check real quick. Oh, sorry about that. I thought I heard a door open. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, this one here. This is the only silver dollar my dad had, and I mean he's in his 80s now, and he kind of has already passed on a lot of his coins. He didn't have a lot, but he owned a service station back in the 60s and 70s, so he picked up a lot of silver, and he kind of gave that all to me, and kind of got me started. Between him and my uncle, who was actually a big coin collector, and so that was pretty cool. But this one's special to me, as always has been. This is one I'll probably never part with. This will get passed down to my kids too. But that's a cool. So they has, you see the history, and then this one has special meaning to me. If I sold this will just be a junk silver that I'd get what, 15, 16 bucks for, with the hole in it and everything. It's nothing special. Probably one of the more common dates in the piece dollar series. Nothing special there. So it doesn't hold a lot of value to anybody but me, but it's invaluable to me, that's for sure. But so anyways, I'm always looking out for bargains. Like I said, I do computer programming. I was a consultant for a number of years. I do work for a company now, for a software company. But I did consulting for a number of years, and I still do it on the side a little bit. And there's a few customers that I know that I will actually barter with and do work, and they'll pay me in silver. So that's kind of fun. So I picked up, a couple hours of my time, and I pick up, 10 silver dollars for it. Hey, it's a good trade. Happy to do that. So hey, anybody else out there? I know Cheapskate is about ready to get started. I'm probably going to sign off here pretty quick. I see I got, if I'm reading all this right, I think I've got 5 people on right now. So hit that like button. I'm glad you could make it. I hope you come back. Like I said, I'm probably going to do more of these. Hopefully a little more organized, a little more planning involved. But sometimes these kind of quick chats are just fun, anyways. I know it is for me. So, but anyways, I'm gonna probably sign off here. And I thank you all for coming. I thank you for the likes, and hopefully I'll do this more often. So we will talk to you later. I'll probably see some of you over on Cheapskate's stream. Let me put a link out there to him if I can. That's who I'm up against. I knew I was up against somebody. It's me. Brian is up on now. So I apologize for that, but it's tough to find a space. So you know what? I'm just going to come on when I come on. It's hard enough for me to get time, anyways. So I take it when I can. Here's Cheapskate's channel. Head on over there, check him out. He does an auction every Monday, and sometimes I think sometimes you do it on Thursday too. But check him out. We'll see you over there, and God bless y'all.